Okay, and we're recording.
Hey.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning. How are you?
I am, well, it's Monday, and I know you are one busy lady, and I greatly appreciate you coming early this morning to film this. Kim and I work together, and we're both real estate agents on the same team. And I've gotten to know you. I didn't know you before, but we
met one time. The first time we met, we were doing something down at the store, store, and we
were volunteering.
We put a cabinet togetger.
Yes, we did,
and we bonded over those damn. Oh, sorry, I just cussed already.
It's better if we use the F-bomb. I have a beep.
Those little hex screws, that you have to like.
Oh yeah.
So
we had some stuff left over. We kind of just shoved it under the rug. So
if you didn't do it right unless you have a screw left over.
True that. Kim is here today to talk about, you volunteer very, very much so in the Kenton County Animal Shelter.
Yes.
And you also foster, correct?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
I think it's been 10 years. I was actually thinking about that a couple days ago with my girlfriend who we started together. We just started going up and walking dogs. It's probably been 10 years. And then it's kind of morphed into some fostering. And it's been something that I love to do, because if I'm going to volunteer, I need to love to do it.
Right.
And to volunteer at the shelter is, just something that I find easy and rewarding. And a little hard at times, quite frankly.
Absolutely. You're one busy lady, though. Not only are you a real estate agent, you're also a flight attendant.
Yes.
And you also find time to do volunteer in the shelter. I mean, where do you find the time to do all this?
To be honest with you, my hours at the shelter, I'll go up on Sunday mornings and walk. We have a walking group. If anyone's interested in coming up on Sundays at 10 o'clock in the winter, that's my priority, is that, and then I layer that with some fostering. So the amount of hours that I'm putting in up there's far more people that put in much more hours. But with the fostering, if I take a dog home, I kind of back off on going to the shelter. But it's just a balance. I fly 2 to 3 days a week, so that's not too bad. And with our great real estate partners that we have, I have a lot of help.
That's not too bad, folks. I mean, this woman is stinking busy.
Well, the grandkids are killing me now. That's the grandkids. So all that time is, but it's. Time goes so fast, and you're right. You have to take a moment to just like, okay, I can't do that. I can do that, and just balance it out.
So, how overall in the 10 years that you've been doing this, how many dogs have you fostered?
I have a list going, and I know I've missed some, but I think on my list I have 15. So I'm thinking it's got to be in the upwards of 20.
Jeez.
But it could be a day, could be 2 days, it could be months.
Right.
There's been a couple that we have ended up adopting on paper because
foster fails.
Yes, foster fails, and they have gotten to the point. And some of the reasons I did that is because they were close to end of life.
Wow.
And it was just, I knew that honestly I can't take on a long-term foster, but I know if there's a dog that's kind of close to end of life, I don't want them going back to the shelter. So we just adopt them and then handle that situation on the way.
Kim, it takes a special kind of person to be able to do it. I volunteered not as much as you do at Boone County Animal Shelter, and it was before their new facility, obviously. And I know what I saw there, and I know how hard it can be. I couldn't foster because my dog Bart's just Bart doesn't get along with other dogs. He got along with his uncle Brody, but that was about the extent of it.
And that is an issue that we do run into with many of these dogs. They all, not all of them, but a lot of them come with baggage.
Yeah.
And that could be for a lot of reasons. All of them are none of their fault. And a lot of it isn't the fault of the owners. My last foster, who I had to take back to the shelter because I'm leaving today, Luna, she's
so sweet too.
Oh my gosh, she is. She's a coon hound, so she sees something, she's going for it.
Yeah. Yep. She gets that scent, she's gone.
Like, when was it, Saturday morning? She ran out to the road to meet a runner greeted it beautifully, wagging her tail, happy, no aggression. And then she saw me and she took off because we have deer. And I caught her because she was rolling in deer poop.
Oh, jeez.
So I was running through the neighborhood in my pajamas at 7:30. So, but I got her. That was the goal. So
I would love to see if you're on somebody's ring cam.
They all think I'm the crazy foster dog lady. But
I could see you running down the street
in my bare feet. So it was, yeah. Thank God I had like appropriate pajamas on, because that's usually not the case on a Saturday morning.
Oh my gosh.
So I caught her and she wasn't. Then so she is her owner's passed. So we get that. We get that a lot. And she was absolutely loved. She was very well fed. And she's a beautiful dog. However,
So
you know, we're in a time of year where it seems like a lot of things are kind of stagnant. Kids are back in school, you know.
Right.
There's some uncertainty in the economy and just all kinds of, you know, in my opinion, unrest with what's going on moving forward. So, you know, in the real estate market, same thing. It's just kind of, you know, things are just kind of on the down low. So we're seeing a increase in dogs that are being brought to the shelter and a decrease in dogs that are being adopted. So, you know, sometimes there's times when we have dogs in the bathroom, they have dogs in offices, and the staff at the shelter is amazing. It is the hardest job that I've ever witnessed on folks physically, very physical job, and on top of that, a very emotional job. And there's laws and regulations you have to keep up with. It's not just, you know, taking care of a dog. There's all kinds of things that go into that position. It's a government position.
Right.
So there's, like you said, when you went and volunteered, it's eye-opening.
Yes, it is.
Eye-opening, positive and negative.
Yes.
And it's just such a benefit to our community to keep those going and keep them running well.
You know, the one thing that I can remember during my volunteer training was, you are not here to judge. You are here to make sure that these animals are fed, played with, walked. I mean, I was a dog walker as well. A lot of the times I was back in the this is the old facility, in the cat room area, washing bowls, or going into the grooming area and making sure everything was cleaned up in there for them, because they don't have time to do that, and that's what the volunteers are there for, right?
For sure.
And I saw people bring in their animals, either to the end of life to get them euthanized, or they just flat out couldn't take care of them. And you know, that side of your brain goes off just a tad, because you're like,
sure.
But you know what? 9 times out of 10, they physically, emotionally, and you know, and just their budget,
the people that are bringing the dogs to the shelter are doing their best to handle the situation. We do have some situations where people tie the dogs up. You know, Pioneer Park is right across the street. That's a really good ground for dumping a dog, because they will be found, and the shelter's right across the street. So we do get that quite often. But yes, you're right. You have to assume that people are trying to do their best. Yeah. Because if you don't, you will go crazy.
Well, you do. Very much so.
And like you said, you know, when people think of the shelter, they think of dogs and cats. We talked earlier, there's everything that comes through the shelter.
Yes.
Everything. And it's the back work that's difficult, like the laundry and the cleaning of the kennels and things like that. Now, I don't think that a volunteer should feel like they have to go in and do a job of an employee. So there's that balance too. But if you can't handle big dogs, or you're afraid of dogs, come do some laundry. That would be awesome. Or put together adoption packets. Or organize the feed room. There's so many things that can be done. Like, I'm highly allergic to cats. I can't even go in the cat room. So there's all kinds of things that can be done where you can help the shelter and not necessarily have to deal with an animal, because those are the things that really keep things running. Right,
100%. And also donations. I know that there's been donation. I mean, again, I refer to Boone County because that's what I know. I would love to get involved with Kenton County as well, but I know that donations have been down, and
For sure.
you know, it's a lot of people think that, oh well, they're, you know, I pay my taxes and it's, you know, they just built this or they're doing this, and I'm like, folks, Boone County Animal Shelter, I think I've been here for 30 a long time, 38 something years,
Don't
whatever
put a
it
number
is.
on it.
I know, right? And that was the same damn animal shelter that I volunteered in when I moved here. And so if you're telling me that your tax money is, their budget is so
tight.
slim.
So tight. Yeah, totally. And, you know, a washing machine goes down, and you know, we use it a lot. So a washing machine goes down for 24 hours. That's devastating to the shelter because it gets run 24/7.
Yeah, and they're not your household washer and dryer. We're talking like hotel washer and dryer.
Right.
They're expensive.
Yeah. So then there's the expense, and then there's the time that washing machine is down, and then all those blankets and everything that we would normally wash get thrown away. So blankets are huge. Crates are huge for us. Dog food is really great. We do seem to do pretty good with that from local pet stores and stuff like that. But yeah, anything and everything pretty much can be used. We'll figure out a way to use it.
So with you fostering, do you get in touch with outside organizations that kind of help you out with vet bills and food and
yeah, if you're
whatnot?
a foster, everything's covered. You won't take anything out of pocket unless you want to.
Right.
Of course, you got to, you know, if I have a foster, she's going to look pretty, so she's going to need something. She's going to need something.
Does she have like a pretty collar? Do you have lots of collars at your house,
I've got
Kim?
so much stuff at my house. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm actually need to purge some things. But yeah, everything's taken care of. My girlfriend Sandy, she's really into the puppies, so we get a lot of pregnant mamas. So she takes the pregnant moms, lets them deliver at her house.
Oh, wow.
And then around 8 weeks, then you have to go get all the vaccines, and then they eventually spade the mom, or neuter, spade, yeah, spade. Thank you. Can't figure out who's got what.
Neuter nuts. That's how I remember.
That's so nice. Where have you been? God.
Right here, Kim.
Oh man. Okay. Life changer right there. So now I can speak it like I have an education. So
It's early.
It is. And so everything, you know, gets taken care of as far as finances for a foster. You know, it's the hard thing about fostering is taking them back if you have to. But you get used to it. I know that sounds hard.
Is it?
But
Do you feel like it's a you're getting desensitized?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. And you know, back in the day, when I first started volunteering, they thought that fostering was a negative because it confused the dog.
Right.
So you've got this dog in the shelter environment, and then you take it out, and then you put it back in. They're finding the opposite of that because it's a de-stressor. It gets the dog out of that situation.
Gotcha.
You know, and then comes back into that. And the Kenton County Animal Shelter does a really good job of trying to match the dog's shelter environment to their personality. You have dogs that do fine and allowed, you know, chaotic.
Kind of like free reign a little bit?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so like Luna, who was well-loved and had a really nice life, they kind of put her somewhere in an office where it's a little bit quieter because you don't want that dog to go backward, you know, in behavior.
Well, it's almost like they get I hate referring it this way, but like somebody in jail.
Totally.
Like you have that mentality of, you know, I'm locked up. I can't move. Claustrophobia.
Totally.
I mean, you don't think dogs would go through that, but they do.
Yeah, especially when it's something that they've never dealt with. I mean, can you imagine the shock to a system? You know, the other thing I do want to say is we do have to be careful in attaching human emotions to animals. Okay, so I try and tell myself that when I take Luna back to the shelter, she's not necessarily feeling what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's feeling, but she's not the memory and the emotion. All that stuff. As I'm driving away, she doesn't really realize that I'm driving away. Does that make sense? And that when
it does.
When
I want to believe that so much.
Well,
I really,
what I tell myself
really do. No, you have to though. And it was like, when you walk the dogs and then you put them back into their kennels. I mean, there were some dogs. I called her Houdini, and that was not her name, but she was an older dog, and she. That little shit.
Yeah.
She would sneak, and
you turn around and she's right behind you.
You take the lead off, and then you're trying to scoot your ass out through the freaking kennel. That little bitch, she would go right in between my legs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they're smart.
Got it.
They are so smart. Yeah.
And then I'm chasing her. The staff. I got locked in her kennel one time.
Because you couldn't get out.
I couldn't get out, and then it locked on me. And I'm trying to put my hand, and I couldn't get my hand through because, of course, they're doing it because there's some dogs that can put their paws through.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Luckily, I had my cell phone.
You called the number?
I did.
Come get me.
Laughed their asses off. They recorded getting me out of the kennel. I don't know if that video still exists or not, but I was so... luckily, I'd been there for a while, so...
Right. It's good to have your cell phone with you because things can happen, Things can happen. We've had some situations, too. You have to be aware of the dog you're handling. You have to feel comfortable.
Right.
And don't push yourself out of your comfort zone. I found myself, I'm aging, and there's some big dogs there that
we're reversing.
Yeah, that's true.
We're reverse.
All right, and I'll go get the big dogs. But you have to know what you're comfortable with because, on Sunday mornings when we're walking dogs, there's dogs, rotating in and out. And, we've had some situations where some big dogs have, gotten away from the walker. So we just have to be aware. And the shelter is so good about matching dogs with the capability of the walker. So each dog is labeled yellow, red, and blue, I think, are our colors. Yellow's an easy walker.
Okay.
So when you go to volunteer, they will match you with a yellow or a red. A red is a hard walker, so you're going to need some experience or some strength. So, but if you go to the shelter and you do the orientation, you will learn about all of that and what the guidelines are. And because number one, safety is the priority for the volunteer and the dog as well.
Yep.
So it's just important to be aware of that because all shapes and sizes, all different backgrounds, all kinds of strength. So
how long? So is it a day schooling or certification?
Yeah.
What do you have to do?
On Saturday mornings. You could go to the Kenton County Animal Shelter website, and there is a number or an email that you can email. And if I had my phone with me, I could give that number out now, but I don't.
And you guys know how to, and my phone's recording, but you guys know how to get a hold of me. My information is public, so please get a hold of me.
I can give my cell phone number. Is that helpful?
You know what?
Do you care?
Okay. You might get a lot of calls.
That's okay.
Calls,
if anybody wants to text me or call me, texting's probably better since I'm in the air sometimes. 859-393 0889, and I can put you in touch with Taylor Sharp. She is our foster representative, and she is fabulous. So we can help you and set something up because the volunteers are imperative to run the
absolutely.
I would go up there sometimes, and there's like all these people out there. I'm like, gosh, who? And they're all volunteers. I don't know how many numbers of volunteers they have there, but we have a strong volunteer group.
Well, and it's we were talking, earlier, sometimes financially it's just not possible for people to have pets, and I think that that's a very responsible realization.
Yeah, I do too.
But one way that you can help out is by going up there and volunteering, and you can get, I hate saying this, your pet fix, but
totally. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And some people can't financially support a cause.
Right.
So time is so valuable, and I think that that's a great way to give back too. You don't have to always write a check. It can be about time.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So when you finish the training, do you automatically go into, do they start you out in washing dishes and doing laundry? You can do whatever?
You can come up and say, I only want to be a dog walker.
Gotcha.
That's all I want to do. I don't want to clean kennels. I don't want to mess with any of that. Great, we'll do that. I don't feel comfortable around dogs. I only want to do cats. Great, we'll do that.
Gotcha.
I am elderly and I don't feel like I can handle a dog. Great, can you do laundry? Great, we'll have you do that. Paperwork, filing, just so much stuff that frees up the shelter employees to do the real meat and bones of the job, and that is finding dogs, these homes.
So, do you statistically know, like, out of the ones that you, for those that foster, like, is it 9 times out of 10 that these dogs are getting adopted by help with the fostering, well, through the you know the outside agencies that could be helping?
Well, we do work with rescue groups. So if let's say we had a dog that came in like a boxer, like Bart, or if he came in, then we have breed specific rescue that we would reach out to first. That's the first thing we try and do.
Gotcha.
And then from there, fostering. Yes, if you're a foster, we really try and ask for you to try and promote the dog. Social media. When I take Luna for a walk, I put a vest on her. Adopt me. Like, take her up to the soccer games.
Yes.
All that stuff. So yeah, as a foster, it's more about than just providing a home for the dog outside of the shelter. It's about trying to find a new home.
Right.
Because you could have that foster. My goal is to not have a foster.
Right.
That's my goal.
Right.
Or else I'd have. Betty, our little pit bull, she is a foster fail. And that's how I absolutely got started on fostering. She was kept in a crate in an apartment in Covington, and the owner just left.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so she was in a crate by herself. They think close to a week or two, and she survived. She survived on her own, feces. So but she came out wagging her tail. Now there were a couple other dogs that were in the same apartment that had to be put down because of aggressiveness. She came out wagging her tail. She was 13 pounds. She's now 38 pounds. So yeah, she.
Hold please.
Hold please.
I don't know why it stopped. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah,
and we're back. We had to take a little pause button.
Yes.
Technical issues.
It's not us. It's the technology.
It's great when it works.
Yeah. So we were just talking about Betty, who was the first. My first.
Foster fail?
My first foster and foster fail. So, we took her, and she was a court case, and she, pictures and stuff went to court, and the owner was charged and did time. So that'll stop that.
But good.
Yeah, no, that'll stop that. And most probably because of the person had probably had issues. This wasn't their first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That they had done something such. I don't know that, but
we don't know if it was dog fighting or whatever.
We don't know. But she was a skinny little tiny thing. And when I was at the shelter with my girlfriend, I turned the corner and she was curled up in a little ball, and she had the biggest eyes and the biggest head, because that was all there was of her. Everything else was just so thin. And she looked up at me, and I said, "Who's that?" And the shelter director said, we're calling her Beauty, because she's so pretty. So we took her home, and we had her for a while, and my husband's like, there's just no way. There's no way we're giving this dog back to anybody. So we've had her for 8 years now.
8 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yep. So how old is she now?
We think she's 9.
9, okay.
I don't know how old she was when we got her, but she was I would say at least a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going strong.
See, it's people like you that really does. You guys are really making a difference. I mean, you really are.
Well, that's sweet of you, but it does. I do it for selfish reasons. I really do, because I just enjoy it. It's easy for me to do this. There's a whole lot of other things out there that people do that are hard.
I think this is hard
stuff.
Yeah. I am so emotionally attached to dogs. I mean, I love cat. I love all animals. Let's just preface that. But I'm a huge. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge dog lover, and I know you are too. Yeah. And just I'll cry. I'll the dodo.
Don't.
I watch that shit and I'll sit there and I'll start crying. I'm like, what am I doing?
I know, it does get to mess with your mental health.
It
sometimes.
does a little bit, because I'm like, how can people be so insensitive to they don't have a voice? We are it. We domesticated these animals to be with us, and then this is what we're doing to them.
And you have to, I think sometimes we get myopic in our views, thinking everybody's like us, and everybody thinks like us.
True
and
that.
There's a lot of people out there that got there's addictions, there's mental health issues, there's poverty. There's a lot of things that go into a dog ending up at the shelter. Number one, in my opinion, is not getting your dogs fixed.
Amen. Spay and neuter.
Oh my
Remember,
gosh.
nuts, neuter. Yeah.
That's neuter. Oh gosh! But if there's one thing you take away from today, is neuter is for nuts.
Yes,
so you're good. Thank you. This has been a public service announcement. I mean, if we just do that, oh my gosh, we've got 8 puppies right now at my girlfriend's house that are pit bull mixes, mixes. And once you get that stigma or however you feel about that, those are a little bit harder to adopt out. So now we've got 8 puppies.
Well, I think also it's the stigmatism people put on pit bulls too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
there are breed specific personalities. Right?
Yes.
And then on top of that, if they are not managed correctly, yes, there's going to be issues with those dogs. German Shepherds, Dobermans. And then on top of that, you add the strength of the breed. So I understand the stigma. I understand how we got there, but it is getting better. When my husband and I went to New Zealand, pit bulls are the family dog. There were pit bulls on the beach. I mean, it was like golden retrievers. They were all over the place because they didn't do what we've done to the pit bull breed. And a pit bull is not even a breed. It's a name that's been given to the Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. That's how they've come up with that name. So you have to respect the breed. You have to respect the personality of the dog and know all that. And if you go in with that, then I think we can make some real changes. I mean, Betty's been a huge advocate for pit bulls in our neighborhood.
I love it.
Yeah, she sits in our yard. She stays in our yard. She has a grandma down the street. Her name's Pat. And she will get picked up by Pat for the day. And if Pat doesn't come get her, she will walk to Pat. And everybody, that's just Betty going to Pat's house.
My God, I want to see that.
She doesn't mess with any dogs. She doesn't approach anybody. She just goes to her grandma's house.
She goes to Pat's, Grandma Pat.
Yep, Grandma
Oh
Pat.
my God, Kim, you've got to videotape that. I want to see that.
It's fun, Like my daughter lives across the street from me, and she'll say, "Hey,
that's right,
Betty's on her way to Pat's." I'm like, "All right." Okay.
She's like the neighborhood mayor.
She is.
There's Betty.
Yes.
There's Betty.
Pat uses a walker to walk the neighborhood, and she'll come pick up Betty. But if there's a person that walks by and they've got a hat or a stroller, she's like, "That's Pat. I'm gone." And I'm like, "That's not Pat."
She's seeing the wheels.
She sees the wheels and the hat. And she's like, I gotta go.
That is so funny. How many dogs do you have?
So I have just Betty right now.
Okay.
Heidi, we had Heidi for quite some time, but we put her to rest around 2 years ago, and she was awesome. But Betty, another thing that you have to be careful with fostering is if you have another dog in the house, there's got to be an introduction. Yeah. Usually, hopefully, in a neutral area, not in your yard.
They feel territorial then.
For sure, as they should, which is what you want. And you want your dog to know its territory and feel comfortable in its own home. So some dogs take to that. Betty doesn't care who you bring in. She could care less. She's like, dude, I know where I've been from, and you bring anything you want in here, and I will adjust.
I gotta be Betty, man.
Don't take me back to the shelter.
Shit. Like I could just see her sitting by the front door, come on in. This is where she keeps her jewelry. And right around down the hall is...
Oh, let me show you where the snacks are. The treats are right here. And I'll tell you what, dogs crack me up. They are... It only takes... If you have another dog in the home, it does make fostering easier because they learn from their habits. Like Luna, she goes to the front door now. Then she comes in and goes to the pantry and waits because Betty's shown her that these are the treats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're very adaptable. but you have got to give them time. I think the rule is 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we get a lot of dogs that come back too quickly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you had them 24 hours. Of course she had an accident.
Right.
Luna, they said Luna wouldn't go up and downstairs. She goes up and downstairs, just took her a minute. She maybe had never seen steps. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if her owners were elderly.
Absolutely.
They could have been in a ranch, with
absolutely.
no steps.
I think her and her owners sat and watched The Price is Right all day and ate. I think that's what she did. But it's The Price is Right, and let's make a deal. I think that's what they did.
You crack me up. So have you gotten Luna on a diet? Is she slimmed down?
She's lost some weight. We go for a walk, and she loves to walk. She does, and she likes to run.
I was going to say, because you're a runner.
Yeah, not anymore. I'm a walker. I'm a walker.
That's okay. At least you're getting out.
I'm made to be a runner, like Luna made me. And the good thing about Luna is she's still kind of a fat ass, so I can catch her. She's like, when I caught her, she's like, oh God. Thank God.
She's probably thinking
I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore, Mom.
Do it.
Yeah. So I know this is the end goal, is to get her a family. But
yes.
Do you ever cringe to the fact that you might not ever see her again when you take her back to the shelter?
I don't want to see her ever again.
I hear you.
I don't. I try.
Understood.
And I really don't. Luna's going to need a backyard with a fence. If I had a backyard with a fence, I would probably keep her. But then, once you start keeping these foster dogs, you can't foster, because then you're a hoarder.
Well, yeah, that and the fact that, okay, Kim, here's your record.
Right.
You're not allowed to take any more dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, okay, that's enough. But yeah, my goal is to not, my foster before this, Bella, she was deaf. And
I remember
her?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's no way this dog.
Because she kind of looked like Bart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she got adopted by
awesome.
a young girl who works from home. And believe it or not, she's a speech pathologist.
Get out.
So she's signing with the dog. It's just crazy.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
There's been some real, I've fostered dogs, and I'm like, there is no way this dog will get adopted. It's not going to happen. It's got too many this, and this. And by God, they find a spot for it. Yeah, wow. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's because I hate comparing this, but it's one of those things that, as a listing agent, you always tell your sellers there's always a buyer for every home. There is. It might take a little longer, but your house will be sold.
Yes.
And I don't like referring that, but there is always a family.
There is.
9 times, just saying in general, finding your heart that there's always going to be a home for a dog.
Yeah, and I think you have to do that. You'll go crazy. Even like you said, in real estate, it's like it might take some adjusting. We might have to make some changes, but there is someone out there that wants or needs your home.
Absolutely. And plus, with also when you were referring about spaying, neutering your animals, dogs and cats. They all need to be spayed and neuters, especially cats. Cats can multiply
crazy.
Not as much as rabbits, but pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And I know that the program, they do have the feral program where they'll clip their ears to let them know, shelter know if they've been fixed or not. But I do know of some programs that will help with assistance to spay and neuter your pets. Do you have more programs that will help people?
Yeah, you can call the shelter, and if you're in need, they will put you in touch with somebody who is willing to help you with that. One of the things that I like to do as a foster is if I find someone that wants to adopt the dog and it's been my personal foster, then I pay the adoption fee.
Wow.
And because I don't want that to be a roadblock for anybody, and people would say, well, if you can't afford the fee, then you shouldn't get the dog. I get that, but it's just a way of paying it forward. I want to make this as easy as seamless for you as possible.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it's not that much, but it's enough to maybe help somebody, instead of paying it towards that, get a cute collar for them or something.
Right, or a few months supplies of food or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand, Kim, because I was asked this question too. If the shelters are overflowing, then why are they charging an adoption fee? And I referred to what I know, but how the hell do you expect them to operate?
Yeah, and there has to be some meat in the game. You know, if you're going to adopt a dog, people don't know that now they will, that if I foster a dog, I handle that for them. But you have to have some meat in the game. When you leave the shelter, that dog's going to be spayed, it's going to be vaccinated, and you're going to go home with supplies and food. There's a cost associated with that.
Absolutely.
And we have to do that. There's just, I mean, it's a nonprofit business. There are costs associated with it. And, you know, you can't just go in and get a dog. You're vetted. We're not as difficult as some of the rescues are on vetting folks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we do try to do a really good job of making sure. The last thing we want is for the dog to come back. Right. And we do get that. The dog goes and comes back because of issues or things like that are unseen.
What about, does the shelter chip the dogs, or is that an extra fee?
That's a good question. I think it's an extra fee.
Okay.
I'm not really sure about that. That's a great question. I'll find out.
And it's funny because Tyler, he works, in the horse racing industry, but he has a scanner because they chip the horses now, right?
Oh, so he's got his own.
He's got a scanner, and it's just we tested it on the dog to make sure. I'm like,
are you sure he hasn't put one on you?
Well, he might have. I wouldn't be surprised. Where is she? There she is. Did she get scanned today?
Oh yeah, it's Claudine. This is good.
Yeah,
she's mine.
Oh, damn it, you found her. Yeah, that's probably what he's thinking. Not so much shit. But we wanted to make sure that the chip was in the dogs, and sure enough, it came up.
That's cool.
And it showed right there.
Yeah, if you do find a dog out in wherever, and you bring the dog in, yes, we can scan it and try and get the owner. Unfortunately, sometimes when the original owner puts the microchip in, they don't update. The new owner doesn't update it, so it goes back to the original owner. And like, I gave that dog away a year ago.
And that's why you license your dog in the county you live in, folks.
Well, that's another point. Yes, licensing. Let's do that.
Yes, let's go there.
Yeah, let's do that, because that's another income stream for the shelter that, and there's and I have to tell you, I was guilty. I didn't do it with my dogs until I became more aware.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I get it. This is all part of a greater community, right?
Absolutely.
This is all part of Kenton County and the health and wealth and well-being of Kenton County. So it's in our best interest to keep our animals under control, our housing market healthy.
Yes.
We're so lucky to live where we live. We've got the best of so many worlds.
Yes, we do.
But we've got to keep that momentum rolling.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, Kim, I know you need to fly out today. God love you.
Well, I have to go take my test. I have to, every 18 months, flight attendants have to evacuate airplanes. And I have to go on Tuesday to take that. So I have to go in a day before to mentally prepare and stop crying before I go.
It's kind of like if we had to take the full test over for our licensing.
Oh, stop.
God help us.
No. Well, I failed it once, so I had to go back and take it again.
It happens, man. Okay, because you don't have anything to do.
Well, I didn't know how many acres were in a square foot or whatever.
I don't even know if I can remember that. 43, 680 something. I don't know.
Yeah, how many times have you had to use that?
None. Or the egg.
Yeah, right.
Just
both of the positions that we're in are all relationship building. They really are. A relationship with the community, the house buyer or seller, the dog. Mm-hmm. The people who work at the shelter. It's all relationships.
Absolutely.
Because that's the core of everything, really.
No,
and if you
agree.
build a good relationship with folks and you work hard, the rest comes.
And I know that you also, is it the 4th of July, Memorial Day parade?
4th of July, Edgewood 4th of July parade.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me, Claudine, why don't you get into that parade? I said, my friend Kim is in the parade.
Well, you could be in the parade with me.
I would love that.
We have a blast.
But it was. Did you bring your dogs into the parade?
Usually, what I've been doing every year, and it's starting to gain momentum, is I throw out poop bags.
Oh, that's awesome!
With my stuff on it, and so they'll say, "Hey, I need another set of poop bags."
What a great freaking idea.
Yeah. So you get if we see a dog,
Kim's not full of shit. Your dog is.
That's what they were saying. And I'm like, hey, does your dog poop? And they're like, yeah, he poops all the time. I'm like, well, here's a poop bag and a dog biscuit to keep him pooping.
I love that.
So it's fun. It's the hottest. It seems like it's so hot.
That's better than candy or pens.
Yes.
That is a great freaking marketing idea.
Right. And my son and my grandson, they have started participating, pulling my trailer from my husband's land.
You have like a house thing, don't you?
That's awful kind of you to say that it looks like a house. I started with cardboard. Every year I'm trying to elevate it.
Hi, buddy. I thought it looked great.
When I look back at my first year, I cringe. I'm like, that is not professional. That does not make you look like a professional realtor.
I thought it looked great.
You're sweet. It's a lot of fun. It's really fun to see people remember you every year. That's cool.
I mean, I want some poop bags.
Well, I'll hook you up.
I did Pet Fest several years ago out in Idlewild.
Yes.
And it was Boone County Fairground. No, sheesh, come on, Claudine. The daggone park over by Mary Queen.
Mary Queen. I'm not pulling it.
F-18 over by the Y. Whatever that park is over there.
Is that Idlewild?
No, that's not Idlewild. Idlewild's down. That's more
Maybe some of our watchers can call in.
And they're going to be like, Claudia,
we don't have a phone to call in on.
We're not live. I mean, I can make it live, but I chose not to do that today.
No, please, no.
I haven't done a live one yet.
Oh, we're going to do a live one.
I think we should.
Absolutely.
We should get some more.
We're that good.
I think we are. I really do. And we have other people that, my friend Kara.
Kara Lilly. I have not seen her in forever.
You got to listen to the podcast that her and I did. It was about adoption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Totally.
But where was I? I gave little dog bowls. It was dog bowls that.
Dang, that's a good one too.
Yeah. So
the expandable ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Granted, I didn't have my logos on it, but I sponsored that year.
Yeah.
And I did a little video of it, and it's a great way for that organization. It's called Friends of the Shelter, for them to raise money to help with this spay and neutering. But I do miss it, and I hope that I can get my butt in gear and then and help.
It's understandable. You're helping right now. This is what you're doing.
I try
Everybody
my best.
has to find their way to do
their
it.
niche of how to help.
Do.
Yes.
Because there's so many ways you can.
Yes, I agree. Kim,
yay!
Thank you so much.
You're
I hope you had a great time. You really have,
lots of fun.
Any questions, you guys have Kim's number, or reach out to me if you need to. And thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for asking me to come. I'm like, wow, I'm kind of a big deal.
You are. I mean, it's everybody's like, well, you don't have one main focus, and I said that's not what I wanted.
No,
it's called life, and it's called who I meet and the interesting people that I have in my life that I want to expose.
Opportunities present themselves, and if you get yourself stuck in one venue or whatever, that's too limiting.
Boring. Yeah. It's boring.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I do real estate every flipping day.
Yeah.
So this is a breath,
something different,
fresh air. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Till next time, guys. Thanks so much.